Mariner wonders if the carpet matches the hull. Talin has giant melons. And it's Taquito night, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 7th Rule with Sirach Lofton.
Hello, hello.
My name is Ryan T. Husk. That's Melissa Longo. And today we are doing a review of Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5, Episode 7, entitled Fully Dilated, written by Andrew Mewith and directed by our pal Meg Lloyd. How you guys doing today, everybody? It's Taquito night.
Ooh, it makes
I was
me
wondering,
hungry.
Does that make it a Tuesday?
Yeah.
Is it Taquito Tuesday?
Taquito Thursday.
I mean, does anybody not love taquitos, though? Let's be honest, because I do love me some taquitos.
Yes,
Dip them in some salsa.
Pretty fantastic.
I like them with guacamole myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I like doing with taquitos the most? Eating them.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Me too.
That makes sense.
Now I want some in guacamole and salsa.
But I was very happy when I was watching this episode, and I'll tell you why. Because I thought of Sirach countless times thinking, he finally can get all of these, almost all of these references. Like there were some that were from episodes of The Next Generation that we haven't covered yet. But I'm like, thank God that they saved this episode for now rather than doing it in the second season. We would not have gotten a lot of these things. But they talked about Picard and Data and Worf and
Tasha Yar.
Tasha Yar. What do you think of it?
Yeah.
Oh, man. And then there was also an Inner Light mention or,
Yes.
reference. And there was a... What was the one with Guinan? I can't remember it right now off the top of my head. The two-parter?
Oh, yes. It's, I know.
Okay, let me think. But anyway,
I just thought
Sirach,
of it.
did you
When I
love
was
this
watching
episode or what? Time Zero.
I
Time
did.
Zero.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's Time Zero. Okay. I did love this episode. I didn't get all the references because it's just hard for me to like. They're not burned to memory and like quick on the top of my head like that yet. But I am familiar with some of the references, so I'm like, I think I know what that is. I think I know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was a real treat.
Oh, and the Edo.
Getting Brent Spiner in general. Did Brent? Did he guest star in this episode?
That was absolutely him.
Yeah.
Totally.
That was that's a real treat too as well, right? It's like, hey, Brent Spiner's back and playing Data. That was a special thing.
Yeah, and they mentioned the Edo when what was it? Mariner said like, "Oh man, do you get in trouble for that? That's some Edo bullshit right there," which is really because the Edo Sirach were the people in like the 4th episode that we saw of The Next Generation, which was Justice, yeah, where they're running around all half naked. I remember Wesley Crusher just like stepped on the lawn and like they were gonna kill him. So that's why she was like, "Oh, that's some Edo bullshit right there." Tons of TNG references.
Uh-huh.
But what did you guys think? I just want to get into this Snell character because he felt to me like a huge Star Trek reference, not a specific character, but because there's always that character that's like lurking and sneaking around and being like all suspicious, whether it's Deep Space Nine, whether it's Next Generation, whatever it is. There's always that character that's suspicious. That's like, what are they up to? What's going on? I don't trust them, boss. Or right? There's always that guy.
Yeah.
And he was a parody of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Snell. Yeah. Yeah. He made me laugh. He was funny. He had that curiosity.
It's a nice way of putting it.
That sneaky curiosity where it's like, hey, I know you guys are up to something.
Right.
So yeah, I liked his character. I thought it was funny. Pushed the storyline really well. Right off the top when Christopher says, "Hey, ready to churn some butter?" I Oh, he already started making me laugh. So yeah.
And he was suspicious from the get-go when they're like, oh, we're all out of globbers. He's like, fresh out of globbers? Like, what? He's so, there's something, I don't know about these guys.
Yeah.
I love how all three of them kind of brushed him off at different points. Stop lurking, stop being a lurker.
Yeah.
We don't want you here.
Even so towards the end when the village old elder was like, we all know how much he lurks. Okay.
Yeah, I thought Mariner had the best one where she just like shoos him away with the broomstick. She's like, "What? Get out of here! Go whatever." And and then the other villager guy was like, "Whatever, you're a loser. Get a job or something like that." Like, doesn't he have anything to do? This guy
lurk.
What did Mariner say? She said something that was really good to him, but I can't remember what it was. She said, oh, well, I lost it, but she shooed him away with the broomstick and said whatever it was. And
funny.
She cracked me up.
I noticed another thing that popped out to me, which was the Michelada reference.
Yes, sir. That's a Breakfast of Champions right there.
Yeah, and I just found out about that. I think the Michelada I found out about on the cruise. I thought Ed Marie is the one that told me about it, but you never had a Michelada? Like, no, what the hell is that?
I've seen a lot of people on Sunday mornings in 7-Eleven buying themselves a Bud Light and a Clamato.
Yeah. And making it happen, huh?
Yeah. That's the Breakfast of Champions right there. What do you think of that, Melissa?
It's disgusting. Especially with the shrimp, and when Barbara goes, I got a shrimp in my eye. It's a mess. It's funny. But it looks disgusting.
Yeah. It's a funny reference that they just mentioned the Michelada.
Like,
yeah, I've tried them before, and I thought they were okay.
I'm not the biggest on them, no, but I didn't even know what they were up until recently. That's the thing. It's like I thought somebody ordered an enchilada. And I was like,
that's a better. I would eat the shit out of an enchilada for breakfast. Yeah. I would kill like 4 enchiladas for breakfast.
This show is making me hungry already.
Right, we got taquitos, enchilada. Is it Tuesday already?
Yeah. Yeah, but that's true. They had 2 Hispanic meal type things in here with the micheladas and the taquitos. So maybe that was a theme going on there.
Yeah.
They also had the purple D. They also had the purple D.
The purple D.
So that was cool.
I thought of Ryan immediately when Ransom said the purple D.
You remember that time when your D turned purple, Ryan?
It was cold. Well, we'll be sure to cut this out in the edit. That's for sure. Anyway.
The purple D.
Gosh.
Actually, this is in alignment with kind of the theme of this season, which is like this, temporal kind of wormholes, alternate universe type stuff that been the focal point in this season. I think they even mentioned it. They're like another anomaly or something to that effect, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like that's what they were going with, which is great because it's a perfect vehicle to tell these kinds of stories, right? It's like, oh, okay, we ran into this. And they mentioned the 1 second is a 1 week. Now, is that an episode that I saw?
It sounds familiar. I feel like that's whether it's in a Star Trek episode or whether it's in some other sci-fi thing.
They did mention Voyager.
Was it Voyager?
Right. Yeah, it was Voyager. Yeah, where it's like time goes by, where you are, but not at all when you're gone. Kind of, and also like in The Inner Light in Next Generation, when
Right.
Picard lives an entire lifetime in like 20 minutes of real
Right.
time kind of thing.
Well, and it kind of reminded me, because wasn't that planet that phased in and out in Deep Space Nine? Didn't they have
Meridian?
a different time? Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, they existed in a different time too,
So,
where it's like
I thought of the episode where O'Brien has to go do that jail sentence,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like no time for us, but it was a whole 20 years.
20
or
years,
whatever.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a theme that is used quite often, and so is the theme of a clone Enterprise ship or another Enterprise ship. Like one of my favorites is the Next Generation episode Parallels. Man, I love that episode, but it's season 7. We see a lot of Enterprises, Riker's all messy hair. He's like, we're not going back to Klingons.
Yeah.
No spoilers, but it's pretty crazy. And then there's also in yesterday's Enterprise where we see another Enterprise running into them and all this kind of stuff. So it's cool for them to say this is another Enterprise, but this one is a purple one that fought a bunch of Tasha Yar clones. That it's like they're running out of ideas. Man, that looks really good.
Well, the purple on Boimler's hair really works for Ryan's head too.
Now, what did they got to be playing Prince on that ship? That's like the elevator music.
Prince?
Yeah. Little purple rain.
Oh, purple rain. Yeah.
Well, you know how you find him in the snow. No, that doesn't work. That's a different joke. That doesn't work.
It's a different color.
Yeah. That's how you find him. He stands out, man. It's fine. And these aliens were orange, speaking of different colors.
So what was this alien? Is this something we've seen before? These two-fisted aliens. Like, looks like they got two fists up in their
It's a new
top
one.
of their head.
New alien race. It was funny. They had a horse and buggy. What were they called? Like the Vestal 3 or something. I don't remember. We're from the northern region. Slarno? Yeah.
Everything is from the northern region now. Which is funny.
Right, the Romulans, the whatever, that's also an old Star Trek thing where they just, God, there were so many Next Generation things where like they walk in and they go, oh, they go, oh, you look different, or you're weird. Oh, we're from the northern province, or oh, we're from the northern continent. They always say that, and it always works. They always go, oh, that makes sense. Or when Data in another episode, I can't remember what this one is called, but he's found on this planet and he says, oh, I'm from France or something like that,
Oh yeah.
And then when he says
it was in the holosuite. When he was playing Sherlock, he told one of the guys that yes, and Moriarty was in it, and he said, I'm from France. Or something like that. No,
he said he was from South America. That's what it was.
Yeah.
But there's another one where he's from France, I believe. And then the part where he's like, it's not the first time I've been missing. I've been just ahead. That was also in
Time Zero.
Yeah, and in Nemesis, right?
Right. Yeah.
When they just found it, but that was before. Anyway, the point is, Sirach, this is like a nerd's dream right here because they're just there. All they were doing was referencing all these things.
Yeah, some data ahead. So all these episodes were basically referenced in this, like, little by little nugget at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't recognize them all, but I was just enjoying the story. I thought the story was fun. I liked how Mariner kept getting into jail.
Yeah. That's when she goes, what? 2 months in jail for an eye poke? That's some Edo level bullshit there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and Dr. Ta'ana had I'm not a doctor. I'm a doctor, not a
Oh, I didn't
moment.
catch that. What'd she say?
Oh,
she
yeah.
says, I'm a doctor, not whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yay!
So they were on that planet for like a year. Sorry, what were you saying, Sirach?
Oh, I don't know. There was a part of me that was saying, I wish Ta'ana is the one going on this away mission. I want to see Ta'ana acting undercover somewhere, throwing her one of her tantrums somewhere else on an away mission. I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
So I was excited. I was like, "Oh, she's gonna go! She's gonna go!" And then of course, they switched it up. But I was hoping that she would be part of that away mission.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine when they were there just a few minutes, they're already saying that their horns were itchy and bothering them? And imagine when they're like, well, great, we have to wear these things for 7 months or 12 months or whatever it is. But tell you what, let's take a break. Let's not take 7 months to get back from it because then the entire series will be over. And we'll be right back on the seventh rule. Why did I say it like that? Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the seventh rule with Sirach Lofton and Melissa Longo.
Hello.
Hey, hi.
Here are the trivioids of the week. The Cerritos has been sent to repair yet another dimensional fissure picked up by Starfleet observation buoy. A purple alternate universe version of the Enterprise crossed into our reality while battling some evil clones of Tasha Yar or something. Mariner wonders if the carpet matches the hull. T'Lyn is pretty into science. It's Taquito night. Delmer 3 is a pre-industrial civilization. That's what it is, Delmer 3. T'Lyn is particularly sensitive to odor. Food is not allowed in the transporter bay, and T'Lyn has giant melons. All right. That's what they said. They said T'Lyn has giant melons. That was the joke.
She does.
I can't compete with those melons.
I know.
But T'Lyn is getting to be kind of a breakout star here, is she not?
Mm-hmm.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, she's definitely she's hitting the notes and delivering that Vulcan comedy the way, the dry way that it needs to be delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, she was like at the end, she says, they elevated both T'Lyn and Tendi to be science officers, and she said something like, I think that we complement each other. And Mariner's like, damn, T'Lyn's popping off.
Yes, that was so good. So good.
I was like, that's the really lamest pop off. But yeah, Mariner she is just so good at delivering these lines. It's unbelievable to me. She's just, perfect comedy.
Mm-hmm.
The tone she takes, it's just everything. She's just such a perfect lead for this show. And just time after time, she delivers such a, perfect way to say things. Like when she was saying, that's such a dated thing to say. She just has so much fun, and you can tell she not only knows the show and the references, but she knows how to deliver those lines with such an ease, and it feels natural, and it's just like she has total control of this Mariner character. So I enjoy watching it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like all three of the characters that went away on the away mission because they are all so different from each other. They're not a carbon copy of each other, and they play off of each other so well. They complement each other so well. And that's why I love that both T'Lyn and Tendi got promoted together for the science officer's position.
But how does that work? Because that's going to be the chief science officer.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little. Are they both going to actually get promoted? Like, are they going to be lieutenants now, or lieutenant commanders, or they're just going to be? I don't know. I mean, I like it. I think it's great. But I was trying to figure out how it's going to work. Like if we're going to see a promotion, or if they take shifts. I'm the chief science officer today, and you're the chief science officer tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a good question. I do not know that actually. That's a good one. But I thought it was hilarious how I don't know this. I don't know if anybody else has had this. It happened to them, but it's like when you run into somebody who's competing with you that you're not competing with.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a theme that they really nailed in this particular episode. I thought just a general thing. It's I've run into that situation myself where you'll look up and you'll realize, that somebody is literally competing against you, and you're like, I'm not trying to go up against you, bro. I'm not trying to, this is not a competition for me. I'm just doing my own thing. But in your mind, it is a competition. So. I thought this episode kind of touched that without even, getting all serious about it, but it really identified that. And I love the way Lynn had the kind of humility to, instead of at the moment where Tendi was saying, hey, you know what, you're much better than me and I've been competing with you and I basically suck compared to you. Lynn did her own evaluation and kind of had some moment of self-reflection that I thought was beneficial for the conversation when she said, actually I don't have those kind of communication skills and I need to work on some of my own things that I lack. So that showed a level of humility for Lynn's character that I thought was great. And I liked also that Tendi came to the realization that she was obsessed with this competition that wasn't a competition. So both of those storylines, I think, work well for me, just as part of like something that rings true in everyday life.
Yeah. And for me, both points of view are really relatable because I've competed with people who aren't competed with me, but also had people compete with me that, I was like, oh, well, I didn't know.
Give us names.
So.
Say the names. No. Yeah.
No
so they really touched that, and it actually, to me, it made them. If I felt a bond being created between these two characters just in this episode alone that I don't think I've seen prior to this, where I felt like they were this close. Yeah. So their competition actually made a bond for me.
Right. Now they could actually win a 3-legged race together. I think.
A 3-legged, 4-horned race together. Yeah, but like Sirach, I think you hit it on the head when you said, it's like a part of everyday life, because this is meant to be a comedy. It's meant to be ridiculous and silly and all that. But it's got these themes that we know and we recognize and we've participated in, whether willingly or not. And we get it. We know what this is. We know the story. We say, yes, I remember Sally Forth in middle school always being, boy, where I was like, Sally, I'm not competing with you, or Billy Madison in, freshman year, where I was like, I got to defeat Billy Madison. These are real people.
Madison.
I wasn't afraid to say their names. Oh, you got muted, Sirach. And you were saying something. I know you were saying something funny too.
Yeah, no, I was bringing up that time Orville Redenbacher wanted to be like you too, right?
Right.
Oh,
he was popping off.
He was popping off.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a corny joke, but anyway. When you
a corny joke. Oh God, here he doubles down with that. All right.
But Tendi's line where she tells Data that you really are fully functional.
Oh my goodness. Or when Tendi says, Data, can you gnaw through these bindings? And he says, well, I have seen Lieutenant Worf do that. I was like,
what episode was that in?
I don't think that one made it to air.
Make it a threesome.
Gnawing on somebody's bindings, huh?
Wow.
Oh, woof.
Yeah, I didn't see that episode, but the image went through my head. I was like, were you watching, Data?
Yeah, that was That was Jadzia's bindings, I think.
Wow.
Okay. Keep your door closed. Jeez.
You're letting the stank out.
I also loved it when T'Lyn came up with fancy hair products. Like,
also, we are now rich.
Yes. And you see everybody walking around with this gorgeous head of hair. It was hilarious to me.
It was funny or interesting that T'Lyn was just succeeding at being herself, but Tendi and Mariner were both trying super hard to do things that were not beyond themselves, that were outside of themselves.
That's a good point. T'Lyn was just being herself, and they were trying to do something that they thought was expected or they fantasized about rather than being in the moment. They were trying to be that story.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And I thought that was funny. She's like, her and her fancy hair. and then Data says something like, you mean adding bounce to curls or something?
Yeah.
That was funny too.
Yeah, like, what's wrong with adding bounce to curls? I was like, this line is hilarious. Yes.
But I also liked when Mariner said, I gotta find a flute.
Yes, I was just looking at that line, yeah.
So that's a reference too, right?
That is the Inner Light.
Reference.
I believe that's the 5th season, Sirach, so we'll be seeing that in a matter of months. And it's really a lot of people say it's the best or their favorite episode of Star Trek ever. Like it's up there with The Visitor. It's that kind of episode. And it has this Inner Light theme that when a Star Trek fan hears that song, we go, oh shit, I'm getting emotional. Oh man.
But it doesn't, so little spoiler, doesn't Picard play Farajaka on that flute? Because I thought I heard Mariner trying to start learning Farajaka in the jail cell.
Yeah, so I think he does it in a further episode. Like he also meets a lady.
Oh right, okay.
That plays tries to play that.
And now he knows how to play the flute.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And by the way, everybody, our good friends, the Roddenberries, check them out. They have a really cool cover of the Inner Light theme song. And I'm like, that is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. It's freaking amazing. So check them out. Just a side note there.
So this had probably the most NAMs in it when you break it down. You've got Tasha, Yar, Picard, Worf, Geordi.
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing somebody else?
No, I think that was it. But those are all like big series regular.
Yeah, NAMs. Big NAMs. And another one that I wanted to ask you about, because I was watching and I know this was another reference maybe that went over my head and I wanted some clarity. When Data's referring to having been found before as a head, he says it was Picard and some guy in a silver jumpsuit or something like that. Where is that from? The silver jumpsuit guy.
Okay. Full disclosure, I can picture it, but I can't remember what it is. And that, so I actually was very happy about that because when I saw it, I was like, I can't wait until I see this episode.
Yeah.
And it's gonna re-trigger. It's gonna re-trigger the oh yes, there's the silver jumpsuit guy. So everybody in the live chat and in the comments below, go ahead and give us the spoiler. What episode is that? And who is the silver jumpsuit guy?
Yeah, because I couldn't remember either.
But I knew, like right away, I was like, oh shit, that's a reference. And I can picture it, but I don't know what that is. So it might have been one we already mentioned, but yeah, that's certainly one, without a doubt.
Okay, perfect. And I also loved the moment when I think it was Rutherford, and he says, "Respect, I'd go back for Geordie too."
No, that was like Mariner.
Was that Mariner? Yeah,
she said
that was.
Oh, respect! Yeah. I'd go back for Geordie too.
Yes, yeah,
that was cute. He's like, I must go back to Geordie.
Yeah, and the other Geordie reference was Rutherford when he says, "And he's best science friends with Geordie."
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah, I like
that. But then Tendi said she was tired of Data's sass, which was cute because Data was getting a little sassy with her. He was kind of talking back a little bit. So that was kind of fun.
That hand crank.
Adding bounce to curls. That's what it was.
Yeah. Oh, and Boimler and Rutherford ended up naked again.
They do I don't know what the hell that they were licking up some goo too. They're like, oh, it's like licking up some goo, and they were licking it, and then we got to see 4 nipples. It was great.
I like the straws that they put in the drinks to have the deltas in them, so they're all laced up. Like Star Trek is really going far.
There they are.
Come a long way now. They got micheladas in there.
With lime slices and shrimps everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a party. Have you guys seen those Bloody Marys where people just start like piling on like chicken wings and like a waffle on there? Like it's like, have you ever seen that? Like sometimes Bloody Marys just come with like a whole meal attached to it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm not the biggest on Bloody Mary. Sorry about that.
Let me see if I can. Okay, yeah. Let me see if I can. For example, see, this is nuts. So this is what I thought of when I saw this. Like, look. So normally they just have like an olive, but this one has like a shrimp, olive, cherry. There's a corn dog there, bacon. There's a hot wing. That looks like it might be a chocolate chip cookie. I don't know.
No,
this looks like waffle fry. There's waffle fries for sure. Yeah. There's the shrimps.
What is that? That's like a whole meal. Is there a corn dog in there?
That's the corn dog right here.
With a jalapeno? This one's got
much. This one's got a burger.
It's got a burger on it, a slider.
And a whole chicken.
Chicken leg. Look, it's a whole chicken.
Like a chicken.
Oh, whoa, hang on. It's getting good. There's a pizza in this.
Oh my gosh.
No, this is fake.
No.
This is fake.
A ham sandwich.
A Subway sandwich. Yeah, okay.
No, but some people really go for it. Look at this.
Holy girl.
So, and this is in Nashville. Had we known this when we were in Nashville?
Ew.
Yeah, we top Bloody Marys to try in Nashville. This is insane. It's a chicken.
It's 2 chickens.
It's 2 chickens.
As if one wasn't enough.
Anyway,
is it a stew or is it a drink?
It's a drink. But you have to eat a whole meal just to get to your drink, I guess. You got to earn it.
Shish kebab.
Yeah.
Crazy. You got to earn it. One thing that's Boimler's got to earn is a beard. He's been growing this beard this whole season, and it's just like,
oh my gosh.
There's just some people that just can't fully grow the beard.
It reminds me of a Cheers episode when they were all having a competition as to who could grow the thickest beard, and Cliff Clavin was the guy that couldn't, and the joke was like Rebecca comes out and she goes, Wolfman. And she's like, I'm just kidding, He's got like 13 hairs on his face. But anyway, that was a funny moment. That's what that reminds me of.
And then they show Rutherford and he just started. It's already
He's like, I didn't shave a few hours.
I'm getting compliments.
I didn't notice that Rutherford has his eyebrow nicked right there.
Yeah, he looks like MC Hammer with the...
Yeah,
he's pretty
cool. He's got his lines in his head and the eyebrow nick. Okay.
Yeah, he's cool.
Mm-hmm.
He's the cool guy. But we're just about out of time here, right? So we do have to mention a couple other cool guys. Unless, Melissa, do you have something else you want to throw at us?
Oh, no. I was just thinking.
You looked angry.
Oh, no. No. I was just thinking how Boimler was there with his thing. Trying to be somebody he's not, and the girls are telling him, no, don't try to be somebody else, and then they go down to the planet and try to be other people,
right?
Oh yeah.
And then Rutherford and T'Lyn are the ones who are successful, not trying to be other people, just being themselves.
But they were doing it out of just to protect them a little, to defend them a little bit. They were doing it out of enthusiasm and excitement, like passion for previous Star Trek episodes. So that but it's an interesting point, though, for sure.
Yeah, I didn't think they were doing it out of spite or anything from a malicious point of view. Never. I don't think Tendi is malicious at all.
But Mariner's got to do a better job. If you see the eternal flame going, it's not like it's not like a campfire or something. You see that it's got a shrine built around it.
I know.
Maybe you want to leave. Maybe you want to it's like going to put out the Olympic torch. You're like, oh, there's a fire. Like, yeah.
Torch. Yeah, that's a good point. Be a little more careful, everybody, when you're walking around in other people's cultures.
Yeah.
So here's somebody that was never careful about other people's cultures. His name is Homer Frizzell. Also, Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel, Eve England out in Wales, Yvette Blackman, Tom TJ, Jackson Bay out in Missouri, Titus Muller, Dr. Mohammed Noor, Tierney C. Diekman, Anil O. Palat, Joe Balsarati, our good buddy, Mike Gu, and Dr. Stephanie Baker, Carrie Schwent, Faith Howell, Edward Foltz, live from Tokyo, the Matt Boardman, Chris McGee, Justin Weir, Jake Barrett, Henry Unger, Allison Leach Hyde, Julie Manasfi, Jed Thompson, Dr. Susan V. Gruner, Glenn Iverson, Dave Gregory, Tim Baum, Chris Sternett, the wine guy, and Greg K. Wickstrom, and of course, our pals, Jason Oken, and Corpus Christi, Chris Garris. That's it for us. Thanks very much, everybody. Please make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for notifications. If you're listening in, give us a 5-star rating and a nice review. We'd really appreciate it. And visit us on patreon.com/the7th rule to be part of the team and part of the fun. Happy holidays, right?
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next time on The 7th Rule.